Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Natalie Megan. This is Weirdo Book Club, and I'm happy to be back because I have some stuff to talk to you about. So today we're going to be discussing Heart of the Mountain by Frankie Love. This is a novella, romance of some sort, and I got it courtesy of Libro FM's ALC program. Thank you so much. And I didn't just get the first book, I got all five. There's 5 of them, and they all have varying titles like this: Heart of the Mountain, Protector of the Mountain, stuff like that. And they're short enough that I thought doing one would just be kind of a silly, kiki, goofy time. But if you like it, I don't mind doing all the rest of them because I think it would be kind of fun. And it's like low maintenance. We are getting dangerously close to that 30,000 subscriber mark. And if you haven't heard me say this before, or if you just got here, hello, I said that when we hit 30,000, I would read and review Does It Hurt by H.D. Carlton. So with that in mind, I'm trying to take a little easy on myself these days, but we're still going to have a good time, okay? I promise. But before we get started and dive on in, I wanted to take a second to talk about today's sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is the largest online learning community made by creatives for creatives, with topics ranging from like needlepoint and floral arrangement to more in-depth things like sound engineering or editing your footage for a YouTube video, for instance. Lately, I've been taking the Interior Design Style Your Home with Wall Art class taught by licensed architect Anna Marku. It's really helping me kind of zone in on how I want my spaces to look. I could really use the help. All of my artwork is so tiny. There's like so much wall left. And thanks to this course, I feel a little less alone in it and a little less swallowed up by all the wall space. I got some giant canvases that I'm excited to play around with. Everyone who uses the link in my description will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare so that you can hone some of your already held skills or find something new to explore. Embrace your creativity and get to learn, and it's really fun and I highly recommend it. Thanks again to Skillshare for sponsoring this video, and now let's get into Heart of the Mountain by Frankie Love. So Heart of the Mountain is book 1 of 4 in the Men of Fox Hollow series by Frankie Love, and between all 4 of them, there are maybe 300 pages collectively. So like I said, taking a little easy, but we're still gonna have a lot of fun because this was just sorry, I short-circuited there. It's something. It's routine at this point for me to remind you that this review will contain spoilers, opinions, general shit-talking. If none of that sounds interesting to you, if you're the author or friends of the author, then maybe you don't stick around for this video. But those of you out there who know how to behave and interact parasocially online with strangers who may have differing opinions than you, you're welcome to stay. We're going to have fun. Oh, and the novellas were published between 2019 and 2020. So here's the synopsis. An angel. It's the worst rainstorm in history. Wait, it's a man. Mountain man, an angel. It's the worst rainstorm in history when I find her unconscious in the woods, sent from heaven. I will protect them. My cabin is their shelter from the storm. Under my care, no one can hurt them, whatever the cost. But I'm not who she thinks I am. And if she finds out, I can't. I'm sorry, I'm rusty. This is so ridiculous. Okay. And if she finds out, she'll keep on running. My home is her home. My heart, her heart. And I sure as hell don't want to break it. And then there's a note. Dear reader, were you missing the mountains as much as we were? James is the virgin, burly, bearded baby daddy I didn't read this before I copy and pasted it. Missing the mountain. Are there more of these books? We've got some questions that need answering. Hello. Time crunch. Trying to do this here. Let's see. Okay, so the top one that comes up is called Timber, the Mountain Man's Babies, book 1. And how many pages is this little bitch? Oh, 284. So it's a real book. It's a big girl book. And it came out in 2016. So that makes more sense now. Let's continue. Dear reader, were you missing the mountains as much as we were? James is the virgin, burly, bearded baby daddy you've been waiting for. I don't know about y'all. Wasn't waiting on that. Can you say that 3 times fast? That's a good question, actually, Frankie. You're a silly goose. Okay, so virgin, burly, bearded baby daddy. 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 No, I can't. You got me. You got me, you silly little thing. Can you say that 3 times fast? Try it. A little louder now. Harder, harder. Yes, yes. Wait for it. Oh, yes. Just like that. He likes it when you scream his name. Well, I wasn't screaming his name. I was saying virgin, burly, bearded baby daddy. So we like it when you come back for more. XO, Frankie, and okay, what are we doing? Oh, it's co-authored by someone named C.M. Seabrook. We're learning so much already. So let me check and make sure there's not like a trigger warning in the front. I don't have it noted here, but you never know. Sometimes I make mistakes. I am but a human gal after all. While we're doing that, can we just take a second and talk about this cover? Yeah, no, me too. Me too. I I don't like it. I understand that it is a product. It's what it is. You know, what are you going to do? Whatever. But I don't like that. I was in a bookstore the other day and someone asked me what kind of books I like to read. And I was like, that's kind of a hard question for me to answer because the books that I read the most of are not the kind of books I like to read. And just going in that mindset, like if I didn't do this, if we weren't hanging out all the time like we do, I would never in a million years have picked this book up unless it was for a hate read with a bunch of my friends because this is the tackiest cover. Like there's this baby that wants nothing to do with it. I mean, look at his face. He wants nothing to do with it. And this man, virgin, burly, bearded baby daddy with a tribal or what? It's not, is it tribal? It's just a unfortunate tattoo on this white man with a meadow and a mountainscape behind him. And yeah, I never would have picked it up except to be like, hey, you should read this. LOL. Just wanted to throw that in there. Also, there are no trigger warnings listed in the book. Let me be responsible and just make sure that I don't steer you wrong and end up ruining your day by accident. See how easy it is? See? Do you see? Okay, great. Oh, this book doesn't have any content warnings yet. Okay, great. There's death during childbirth, like cult, kidnapping, kind of like being held against your will, being tortured, being used, your virginity being sold to someone. I don't know. Like none of it is gratuitous. We only have like 100 and something pages here, so we're not getting too deep into anything really. There's also like kidnapping and branding mention and abuse and just violence and like near death experiences and yeah, all of that. And as we go along in my script, if I do encounter anything or come up on anything that I'm like, hey, whoa, pump the brakes, this might be a little rough for some, I will let you know, I promise. Okay, so let's just keep going. Let's start because this is taking longer than the book is. So chapter 1 is James. Okay, so a mountain man named James is farting through the woods amidst the aforementioned intense heavy rainstorm, one they've never seen the likes of round here. I don't know if he's Southern. I just tend to lean into that when I know nothing else to do because I'm Southern too. So he wasn't always a mountain man, fun fact, but he's been living alone in isolation in the woods for the last 5 years. And so he darn sure is one now. And he wishes that sometimes he had someone to talk to, but LOL, not really. People suck, and he has books, so he's fine. Woods and books. He is woods and books. And to be honest, I want this for myself one day. Also, he has a yellow lab named Banjo. I feel like it is important since he's over there sniffing at the bushes because he's found something. And oh my God, what is it? Well, it's an auburn-haired woman, frozen and soaked and slowly coming to, asking for help, faintly in a tiny little voice. She seems like she's been through a lot. That's rough. As he lifts her to carry her back to his cabin to care for her, he notices that she's not alone. She's cradling a newborn bebe to her chest. What the f***? The only explanation that she would be out here in this is that she's running from something or someone. She's in some kind of trouble, and he doesn't want no trouble, but seems like trouble wants him. I don't know why I'm leaning into the Southern thing. Don't come for me, okay? It just comes naturally to me being a resident of the Bible Belt for my entire adult life. Anyway, he doesn't want the trouble, but he can't just leave her, right? So he takes her back to his cabin, both of them. This is not going to end well. And then he lays the woman down in the bed, takes the baby to like give her a once over, see how she is and whatever. Warms her by the fire. So the bridge is flooded. Whatever bridge there is, it is flooded. It is flood in the woods in the books. So they can't take the baby to the hospital. So he's going to have to figure out how to care for her until the storm lets up. It's a girl, redheaded like her mom. I hate the redheaded, like... I hate everything. Every time they do a hair color, I'm like, ugh, so I can't, there's no winning with me, honestly. The remnants of the baby's like umbilical cord is still attached. So he knows that this baby was like literally just popped out. Can't be more than 2 weeks old. Sounds horrific. So I'm trying to be empathetic. It's okay, little sparrow. Okay, ew, already. Don't do that. So he starts calling the baby, whose name is Lily, I believe, little sparrow. And he calls the mom, Marcy, little bird. And I just hate it. I'm so sick of this. I was talking to somebody yesterday. She recommended a book to me from like 2005. And she was like, one of the flex points was they didn't over trope the whole thing. So there's no like stupid nicknames or something. I didn't even realize how annoying that was and how I just either don't remember it ever being present in books that I read prior to this whole thing starting. But there was a time where not everyone was little dove, little nightmare, little bird, little sorrow, little nightmare. I already said that. Little ghost, little whore, little whatever. It was just not. It just wasn't there. So it's just nice to remember how things used to be, right? Sometimes, but we're in the future and the present right now. So he makes baby Sparrow a crib out of a drawer, a dresser drawer, and then he wakes the mom up, kind of stirs her to be like, I need to get you out of these wet clothes. And as he starts to undress her, she opens her eyes and he is just struck by how beautiful she is. Oh my God. He gently undresses her, sees bruising on her arms, and has this primal urge bubbling up, the need to protect her from whatever is coming for her. Like, just, okay. Like, it's a surge in his rib cage. You might want to get to a hospital if you can, buddy. It sounds like you and the baby both need it. As he takes her pants off, he tells us, the woman is all curves that make my cock instantly stand at attention, but I try not to notice how fucking sexy the girl is, or how her breasts fill out the sheer bra she's wearing. Try harder, I beg you. So he gets her undressed and he puts one of his gigantic, oh my God, sweatshirts on her and says, I'm not a saint. By the time I'm finished, my balls are aching with a hunger that I've never experienced before. Because remember, we're dealing with a virgin, burly, bearded baby daddy. He's been a hermit, like I said, for about 5 years. And sure, he could get it when he wandered into town, but he's not like that. He doesn't want to fuck around. He's also not a boyfriend guy. He's a 24-year-old virgin who can't drive. He can drive. He has a truck. Just the bridge is out. So right now he can't drive, but whatever. I wish to fade into the earth, into the blackness. This is so dumb. And also, good for you, buddy, being a virgin. Great. Love it. Do whatever you want. It seems like that's what you want. But I don't know. I don't know what to say. Anyway, she has no ID. He can't ask her who she is or anything really because she's still sleeping kind of. The baby cries. He calls her a sparrow again and cradles her against his burly, bearded virgin chest. Okay, so chapter 2 is Marcy. She wakes up feeling warm and this vague sense of needing to do something else. And then the baby cries. Lily is the baby's name, right? So Lily cries and then everything just comes flooding back to her. Her sister Amy, her last words. So Lily is not Marcy's baby. Lily is Marcy's sister Amy. I need like a whiteboard. Maybe I can install one up there. Marcy, the girl, the curvy girl, all boobs and butt, had a sister Amy. And Amy had Lily, the baby. But Amy sadly passed away during her childbirth because the people who were holding them refused to take her to a hospital. And so her dying breath, words, wish, whatever, were like, save her or whatever. So that's why she's on the run. She ran for 2 days, stealing supplies and holding the baby tight. And she sees this giant man walking towards her with Lily. So she's scared, right? Because she's in this strange place. She just woke up. The baby's crying. There's this giant man. And he has this weird familiar quality about him. I wonder what it is. She tells us that he looks like he's been around babies all his life. And he said that too. He said something last chapter about being around babies all his life, but he's 24 and lived in the woods for 5 years. So 0 to 19, he was around a ton of babies. Why? For what? Anyway, he explains what happened to her now that she's awake. They're about 20 miles outside of Fox Hollow. This is his cabin. How the heck did you get here? She walked, but she lies that she was trying to escape her boyfriend and tells us no one can know that Lily isn't mine. Okay. And to this, burly, bearded baby daddy asks, is he the one who hurt you? And she's like, you saw my body? And he's like, yeah, I need to get you into warm, dry clothes. I wanted to make sure this baby's mama woke up. And then she sadly tells us, this baby's mom will never wake up. And honestly, it's tragic. It's terrible. It's just a lot all of a sudden. And it has to be because it's a novella and we are speed running through the whole thing. So anyway, Amy's last words were, of course, her begging for Marcy to save her daughter. She tries to get Lily and go, but they're like trapped by the rainstorm, and he tells her that, gently, of course. He's a gentle, giant, virgin, burly, bearded baby daddy man. And she's like, I can't stay here. The only men I've ever been around wanted to hurt me, and this guy's way, 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 way bigger than all the rest of them, so we've got a giant on our hands. Alert the media. She also says, even though he doesn't look like he's going to hurt me, he's still a man. And honestly, I understand. You never know what they're capable of at any time. I saw a TikTok a while ago, and it was like a guy the other day called me a misandrist and told me, like, who would be around to protect you if all the men disappeared? And the person making the video was like, protect us from who? So I get it. I get it. And she's traumatized, and she's been through a lot. So we're just going to sidestep this and go on. He introduces himself. James lives alone. I won't hurt you. I want to protect you. She still notes how familiar he seems, but he seems so genuine. No man has ever tried to keep her safe, but she doesn't have a lot of options out in front of her right now. So what's she supposed to do? She introduces herself. Marcy, baby Lily, a week old. Yikes. God. Ooh, prenatal care, postnatal care. Pediatrician. She's freaking out a little bit internally because she's like, I don't know how to take care of a child, and he's like, she's hungry, and not to get all clinical, it doesn't look like your milk came in. You weren't leaking, so back away from me, man. Back away from me. Do not. Like, is this man a former OBGYN Doogie Howser? Was that why he was around a lot of babies in his former life? Like, he was in the hospital, in the NICU, like just maintaining constant contact with these babies that needed him. Like, I don't understand. Stop it. She asked about her backpack, which she had with her somewhere in the woods because it has formula in it. He rises, grabs a pew pew, and heads out into this tragic, treacherous rainstorm to get the backpack because getting Lily fed is the only priority right now. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Actually, acts of service. I'm a Capricorn. Sign me up. But, I don't know. I have nothing. So she's sitting there while he's gone, dog on one side, baby on the other or something. And she's wondering if her choice to run from the, quote, the Wild Ride Motorcycle Gang was the right choice. Not the Wild Ride Motorcycle Gang. What is the Wild Ride Motorcycle Gang going to think when they find you here with the virgin burly bearded baby daddy? Woo. She prays to a God that she's never believed in, that the sun will break through. She's ready for some light. Yeah, okay. James, number 3, chapter 3, James. I'm sorry, I'm all out of sorts. So it's been a few days, and he is rocking the baby and feeding the baby while Marcy rests up and coops a little bit. When she sleeps, she looks like an angel. Her auburn hair, her soft, pure, creamy skin, and her curves that would tempt any man. This is why the virgin burly bearded mountain man thing will never work for me. You mean to tell me you've been living out in the woods and a stranger comes to your cabin, like obviously in desperate, dire straits and trouble of some sort that you don't know the details of, and all you can think about is her soft, pure, creamy skin and her curves and her boobs that aren't leaking because you were paying attention to that. I just feel uncomfortable. So the small bit of talking that they have managed to do in between her napping on and off, he finds out that she's pretty smart. She's quick-witted, that one. She has a quiet strength and innocence to her. He has also noticed that every now and then she blushes at the sight of him. So he feels this primal urge to care for and protect her, but he also wants to possess her and make her his. Of course, they all do. That's like all of it. Copy paste. All of these books are the same. She wakes up. She's like, I'm so smelly. Oh my God, I need a shower. Am I grossing you out? And to all of this, like, oh my God, am I freaking you out? Am I grossing you out? Do I stink? His twitches. Sure. As she gets out of bed because she is petite, curvy, so damn cute. All that he's been able to think of for the past few days is her creamy skin and his inside of her, taking care of her. That's great, yeah. She needs a man who will protect her, not hurt her. I could be that man. Yeah, I guess you could, but there's another aspect to this whole thing, which is her. But I'm getting ahead of myself. She goes to take a shower. She hasn't taken a shower in a week. Yikes. I mean, I've been there. She goes to take a shower and he gets her some clothes for her and fixes her some food. So nice. Acts of service. We love. He slips into the bathroom to give her the clothes, like set them on the whatever. And he sees her silhouette in the shower and says, "It isn't just about a hungry." But yet again, the primal urge to protect her at all costs. Yes, we know. You didn't even have to tell me. I could have guessed. She pops her head out, thanks him, asks about shampoo because he only has soap. He says he wasn't expecting company. He turns to leave and then says out loud, "I'm going to go then. I want to respect your privacy. It's only a curtain keeping me from feasting on you." It's been a week, and y'all have not had any conversations that would lead you to feel this comfortable being this forward and familiar with this battered woman. He regrets saying it as soon as he did, as he should, but she doesn't really react except to lick her lips. You guys owe me $5 for that, okay? That's content that no one else gets to see. You guys are really living today. She thanks him again and says, "I'm hungry too." And he doesn't think she was talking about food. Why wouldn't you think that? She's been sleeping for a week. She hasn't gotten up for a week. She hasn't showered for a week. And because he thinks this is the mom that just delivered this brand new newborn baby, right? So if she's postpartum, she needs her calories. But sure, yeah, she's definitely talking about she whimpers as he leaves, okay? And oh my God, he totally wants to just claim her right then and there. And he can't because she's a little bird with a wounded wing, and all he wants to do is help her fly. I'm like a bird. I want to fly away. I don't know where my soul is. I don't know where my home is. Anyway, he leaves the bathroom, and his is a force to be reckoned with out there in the hallway or wherever he's standing. And he's wishing that he could jack off, but it's a one-room cabin, and like, there's a baby right there. Yeah. Yeah. Let's just, let's table that for now, please, for the love of God. He steps on the porch to cool down, and when he comes back in, she's in his gigantic, humongous t-shirt with no pants, reaching for something on her tippy toes. And he's glad to see that she didn't put on the sweatpants he gave her because, quote, they would be about 10 sizes too big for her anyway. Is this a child? 10 sizes? 10 sizes. Okay. Could this be abstract hyperbole to convey size? Sure. But words mean things. Words mean stuff. Like, is this a woman in the body of an 8-year-old girl? Because that would be the only way that a shirt that a regular human-sized man, even a large one who shops at like a big and tall store, would be 10 sizes bigger than her size, would be if she was a child. I don't understand. Like, I don't have a scale for that. 10 sizes? You know what? I'm going to leave it alone. I'm just going to leave it alone. He's horny again. Of course he is. She wants to help with dinner, but he steps in. She says, "You saved our lives, and it's the least I could do." Any man would save them, though, right? But he also knows that that's not exactly true. Foreshadowing. Aside from him growing up around infinity babies, he also grew up around men who used and abused women for whatever they wanted to do in the moment. And he ran from them, vowed to never be one of them. Oh my God, is he one of the, what is it, Wild Ride motorcycle gang? Oh my God. That's what it is. Anyway, she thanks him again, grabbing his hand. She slept for 2 days, had been running for 3 before that. She's very close to him, and he is struggling. The rain is still coming down a bit, and she's like, "I want to leave as soon as the rain comes up because I don't want to be a burden." And he's like, "It'd be nice to have some company." I bet. For what? What are you going to do? Board games? Twister? Don't play Twister. Don't do it. They cheers to life, and she starts crying because of her sister, may she rest. And he comforts her, but what she really needs, he knows, is a meal, not a stranger making her moves on her. So he serves her lentil soup, and honestly, sounds delicious. She notices how good he is with the bebe, and he says that he's had a lot of cousins. She thanks him for taking care of Lily so well, and he says she's an angel, just like her mom. And that is what does it. She's up on her feet. She touches his face, calling him a good man. He's 24. They close the distance, and they kiss. Okay. He says her name. She says sorry, but he's glad that she did it, though. I'm sure you are. You've been bricked up since you found her in the woods. She's totally safe here. Whoever Lily's father might be, he's a bastard to hurt the 2 girls in my cabin now, but Marcy is certainly no girl. With curves like hers, she is all woman. Are we certain? Because, again, I said I was going to let it go. 10 sizes too big for her. I don't even know what that looks like. His twitches again, but this isn't what she needs right now. We know, blah, blah, blah. She drops something on the ground and leans to pick it up. And he sees, oh my God, she isn't wearing any panties. But that's not all he sees. He spots it on the bottom of her lower back, a brand. And he knows exactly who gave it to her. Listen here. Listen up. I thought the clothes were swallowing her. I thought she was engulfed. I thought they were 10 sizes too big. Did she go 180 upside down to retrieve the item that she dropped? She do a handstand? How are you seeing her ass, let alone her lower back? Her lower back in clothes 10 times bigger than her. I said I was going to let it go. And I meant it. But I am having so much trouble visualizing this because words mean things. And when you're a writer, your job is to illustrate a world using only your words for people. And that is where words meaning things comes in clutch, because sometimes you write dumbass shit like this. The logistics don't add up. It doesn't add up. But what can I do, right? Like get in my car, drive to the local nearest big and tall store, purchase a t-shirt in the largest size that they have in stock on the floor, bring it back here, try it on, bend over and see what we can see? No, that would be crazy. Okay, the biggest size that they have available for me to buy right now today is 7XL. I wear a medium. I'm wearing a shirt that I got several years ago from Delius, and it's an extra large. So this is an extra large in women's, okay? Where can I put you? Here, hold this. I can probably comfortably wear a woman's medium. And sizes are subjective, you know, like you can wear a medium in one store and wear a small in the other. I understand that. But I can't let this go, okay? So this is an extra large. This is how it lays on my body. You like that? I'm a ballerina, bitch. Okay, now let's go get our big and tall 7XL men's shirt. Y'all ready? Let me back up. I wouldn't get sent home from school if I wore this. They had a 7X tall, but I don't know if he's that tall. I don't know if he would wear that size. So I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt, just get him a regular 7X, right? So this is how it looks. And I am not small girl. So this is about 8 sizes bigger than my baseline. Let's put it on and see what it looks like. 10 sizes too big. She leaned over and I saw, what did you see? Nothing. You saw nothing. And you know what? There is the chance that maybe he's shaped like Squidward after he ate all those Krabby Patties, right? He's just pear-shaped. And he wears like pants that are 10 sizes too big. And the shirts are only like, maybe 5 or 6 sizes too big. She bent over and I saw she wasn't wearing any underwear. How'd you see that? Unless I go full up. And how did you see her lower back? How did you see it? Is the shirt see-through? Is it made of spider webs? Full disclosure too, I'm 5'3". I weigh about 170, and I usually comfortably can wear a unisex, and I can comfortably wear a unisex medium. That's around the area that I tend to stick. It's a little tighter for me. I usually go up a size or 2, but this technically, so it's 7X, right? Medium, large, 1X, 2X, 3X, 4X, 5X, 6X, 7X. This is 8 sizes bigger than me. And I understand like an expression like, oh my God, that's a billion sizes too big. No, you said 10. You said 10. And I'm so tired using qualifiers to talk about the tired trope that is, he's so big, she's so little. She's tiny, bite size, but she's also big enough for me to want to bang in the cabin that I live in all by myself like a freaking incel idiot. So, I don't see, I'm so confident that I'm safe in this. Let me just take these off camera. This is as racy as it's going to get. I'm wearing this color underwear. You see it, right? Okay, so. What'd you see? Anything? Stupid. Thank you for coming on this journey with me. Yeah, no, that was totally crazy. I recognize that this seems like silly, petty thing to get stuck on, but like qualifiers that make no sense in your book that's less than 100 pages or make like a little over 100 pages, like make edits, read the stuff out loud to yourself. Act it out. I just did. Just take a second. Just slow down. Slow down. We didn't miss the mountains this badly for you to bum rush me with nonsense, okay? It's okay to just take a second, foot off the gas, coast along. And like I said, read it out loud, act it out, whatever you need to do to make sure that what you're saying makes sense for what I'm reading. Okay, let's move on. I really do promise to let it go this time. I promise-ish. Anyway, somehow, beyond all comprehension and common sense, he does see her snatch and a brand on her lower back, and he knows where the brand came from. His father, the leader of the Wild Ride Motorcycle Club. Gasp! Chapter 4 is Marcy. It's been almost a week. Rain's still coming down steadily. Marcy and baby Lily are still there. So it's like a 2 weeks, 1 week, 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 week, 1 week. She was on the run for 3 days prior to this, but she's been in the cabin a week. So they kissed after 2 days. His twitched after 12 seconds. Anyway, they're both still there and they're safe and they're, acclimating to their surroundings. And the strangest thing has happened. She doesn't want to leave. Not because she doesn't have anywhere to go, because she doesn't want to leave Jams. They've both been trying to ignore this little tension between them, and he's been more broody lately while he's looking at her. He's looking at her a little differently. I see the desire, the hunger and need, but there's also tenderness. My core aches. My skin tingles with anticipation. I kissed him once, but I'd pulled back, worried that I'd mistaken his signals. But there's no mistaking the way he's looking at me right now. Okay. That's sweet. She's instantly like, I trust Jams. I never thought I would trust anyone after what I went through. Yikes. Yeah, I would have hoped that one day you would be able to trust again. It sounds like you've lived through hell. But I didn't expect you to trust someone in a handful of days that you met in the wake of escaping your captors. Feels less like real, like it delegitimizes the whole thing. They're close. They're staring. He's like, you have to stop looking at me like that. And she's like, why? And he's like, because I want to do stuff to you and you just had a baby. She wants to tell him the truth so badly, but then a loud crash rings out in the forest and she just knows that she's been found. She's been sought out. They're here to take her. She grabs Lily and starts to freak out and flee the scene. But he's like, it's just a tree. Calm down. You're safe. I'll do whatever it takes to keep y'all safe, even if you never tell me why you're running. And she's wanting to tell him anyway. So she asks for something a little stronger than beer, and then she just spills after he gets her a whiskey. Be a good little boy and bring me a whiskey.
Be a good little boy, bring me a whiskey.
When he does bring her the whiskey, she's like, that's expensive. He's like, oh, whiskey? And she's like, I tended bar for the Wild Ride Motorcycle Bar Club, whatever. And he's like visibly tenses, but he says nothing. She, on the other hand, tells him everything. And thank God we don't have to hear it again. I love that because the Never King could literally never. That's why they call him that. He's like, thanks for spilling. Now I need to spill too. Oink, oink. Ugh. He looks back at me, and what I see is a starving man. You were honest with me, so I'll be honest with you. I want you, Marcy. So bad my balls ache with it. But I won't push you. And listen, it cuts off because she charges. But maybe I'm the weird one here. And honestly, that's fine. Look at where we are, But this whole visual brought about by this colorful choice of words just doesn't do it for me. And also, I really don't love that she just bared her entire soul to him, like her backstory, her trauma, everything that has led her here. And he's like, thanks for telling me. Now I need to tell you something. And it's not that he knows those people and was a member in there and then broke away himself. No. It's, I need to fill you up like a donut. I don't like that. Anyway, she grabs him and kisses him real hard. She's like, I want you to. Thank goodness he can rail her now that he knows the truth about her sister's untimely death and how her downstairs isn't on the mend. She also mentioned that she overheard the group talking about selling her virginity. So she's also a virgin. Great, great. Honestly, do what you want. Power to you. Happy for you. But like, so they're both virgins? Yeah, that's sure to be like reach for the stars, over the moon, World Series kind of sex for sure. It's going to be great. My first time definitely was. Chapter 5, James. So he's hot, desperately wants to be her everything, and he's been saving himself for this exact moment. For her. That's weird that you've been saving your virginity for this exact scenario. It's a little odd. We roll into my bed, and with the baby asleep, we begin to undress one another slowly and with intention, knowing this moment is electric and ours. So much of our lives haven't been our own, but this is ours. You said that. And we aren't sharing any of it. That's good. Unless one of you is into voyeurism, that would need to be discussed beforehand. But I get it with you. I'm with you. I lift the hem of her t-shirt. Man, you got to go to hell for that if she's still wearing yours, right? 10 sizes too big. Slipping it over her head. Her round, full tits are beautiful. Like every inch of her skin, she's naked in my bed. Her ass so creamy. Her untouched and tight. How do you know? If you want the uncensored version of me reading this, then you should check out my bindery because I'm trying to stay monetized here. But let's keep going. They're exploring each other and they both admit that they've never done this before. And she is shocked to hear that he's also a virgin. Men can be virgins. Anyone can be virgins if they don't want to have the sex. I saved myself for you. She licks her lips. You didn't even know me, James. I saved myself for a woman who would make me feel like a man, who'd make me feel like I do with you, like I could take down armies in your name, like I could march into battle for your honor, a woman I'd lay down my life for. A girl worth fighting for. A girl worth fighting for. Stop. Whatever you say, sport. Okay, so anyway, she's moved to tears. They make love, and that is being gracious. He refers to her as little bird. Hate it. He describes fingering her as a fantasy. And honestly, cool. We love foreplay. Well, sometimes. Sometimes I got shit to do. But it's their first time. Fine. He goes downtown and she arrives. And then she's like wowed at the size of him because, of course, he's enormous. Can you imagine being the gargantuan being that they've described him to be? And then he's just like average. Can't have that. Not in a romance novel. He's like, can you handle it? And she's like, I can handle anything. Then come here, sweet one. Let's go somewhere we've never been before. Boo! Okay, so chapter 6 is Marcy. He's huge and he's perfect. Everything is perfect. After they both arrive, he says, I love you. It's been a week. I'm sorry. Whew, okay. So they lay and bask in the afterglow of their first time and they snuggle the baby in between them. This baby did not want to be here. I don't want to be here either. The dog is nearby. Banjo. I wonder where Kazooie is. What a sweet little family. It's weird that he hasn't told her that he was once a member of the Wild Ride Motorcycle Club. It's weird that he hasn't told her that he's related to the people who traumatized her. Isn't it? I feel that may have affected her somewhat. And maybe that's why he didn't tell her, because it might have skewed her willingness to just hop up on him. And we can't have that. We have a twitching on our hands. So they discuss more of what happened to her and her sister, and she mentions someone named Clay, and he again tenses visibly but says nothing. And she's like, yeah, Clay was the boss and he was franchising the cult or whatever. So I don't know where all the other women are. He's like branching out. He's got a new setup and he's awful. And James is like, maybe he wasn't always like that. Hi, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Hate that. Hate when people say that. Hate when people do that. Diminishes everything that you've lived through. Makes me feel unsafe around you. Can't stand when people do that. You sit there and you tell them this happened, this happened, this happened, and this person did it. And they're like, I wonder what caused them to be that way. I don't give a it doesn't matter. There's not an excuse. Is there? Is there a valid explanation that would make all the stuff that she shared going through with them okay? Or at least like palatable so you could sleep better at night? There isn't. Shut the fuck up. So apparently Clay had a wife at one time and his wife and kid died. So Marcy says, and he just snapped and got like way worse. Okay, then join a gym, find a therapist, learn a skill, plant a garden, learn necromancy. I don't know. You don't start a sex abuse cult That is not a coping skill. Also, what the fuck do you mean he wasn't always so bad? James, elaborate. He's like, sorry for saying I love you. You need time. And she's like, nuh-uh. Your words are the balm I need. I hate that word, balm. So chapter 7 is where my notes end. So I got to pull this up and we're going to just be flying by the seat of our pants as we proceed onward. Chapter 7 starts and it's James. And it's odd that he still hasn't told her that Clay, her sister's abuser and father of the child sleeping in his drawer, is his father. That makes Lily, the baby little sparrow, his half-sister. This is a little too close for me. Anyway, he's out on the porch and he's just going over everything that's happened in the past few days. Like, it's not been that long. And he notices that the rain has kind of stopped. So that means that the river will like recede. So they'll be able to cross the bridge and go into town and get some stuff, which is good because they're running low, running on empty. Sorry. And he's thinking to himself, like, I haven't told her who I am. And I also haven't told her that as long as my dad's alive, she'll never be safe. Never. And I know because he came close to killing me, his own son, all because I refused to become one of them. He told his club that I died just like my mother did all those years ago. And in his mind, I did. Leaving meant that in his eyes, I'm a traitor and I'm a liar, at least to Marcy. Well, you know what? All you have to do is tell the truth.
Tell her the truth.
As he's sitting on the porch, he's like staring at this little yellowed photo in his hand of him as a kid and his mom, may she rest, and his dad, Clay. Yeah. Then Marcy comes out onto the porch, so he shoves it into his pocket because we can't have this conversation now. We couldn't have it before she rocked our world. We definitely can't have it now. When is a good time? Oh no, we're never going to have one. Any time is the good time. So she comes out wrapped in a blanket. I wonder if the blanket is also 10 times bigger than her because I would feel like he would need like an extra large blanket if he's as giant as he's portrayed, right? Anyway, she's like, it stopped raining. Isn't that a good omen? He's like, do you want your present? She's like, present? He's like, yeah, I've been in the wood shop. She's like, I just thought you wanted some alone time. But anyway, he comes back up and I guessed it before I even saw it. It's a baby crib bassinet rocker thingy. I don't know, but he apparently made it. He just whipped it up in a week, which I am not a woodworker, carpenter. I guess if I use Skillshare, I could maybe become one. Shout out to Skillshare. How long does it take to construct an entire crib? Because you were a virgin, burly, bearded man living in isolation for the last 5 years. You didn't have a crib half started. You started maybe day of her arrival. So it's been like a week and a half. Maybe. Let's give you some grace. Any woodworkers out there, if Jesus is watching, can you tell me if that can be done in a week? Building a crib, bassinet, whatever, from scratch by hand in a week and a half. Somebody let me know. So according to woodworkingtalk.com, somebody said the crib I built took months to build, maybe around 300 hours. And that's one person's opinion, right? What am I to do with that? But again, if he is a giant person, maybe he works a little faster. Maybe he doesn't have to cut the wood. He just breaks it in his hands like toothpicks. I don't know. Let's just keep going. So anyway, she loves it. She's like, oh my God, let's put her in it right now. So she starts, nesting and putting her in there and all that stuff. And then she wants to thank him. Do you get me? And so she starts to and he's like, listen, Marcy, I need to talk to you. Like, yeah, you need to talk to her like yesterday. You should have already told her this. And she's like, but I want to thank you. And I think that I'll like this. And I think you will too. And he's like, Marcy, I need to talk to you. Well, since you're down there, I guess we might as well do it. So he doesn't tell her yet again. And she just fillets him. I don't even know if that's a verb. I'm going to see if this is something I can keep in here. So she purrs, deep throating me, her fingers on my aching balls. Go to the hospital. Her fingers running up and down my shaft as she sucks me hard. Ugh, I growl. Come, she pants. Let me taste you, she begs. It doesn't take much. Her horny words force my cock to erupt. She sucks harder, swallowing every drop of my milky cock. She loves it. Swirling her tongue over my tip, holding my balls in her hands and squeezing ever so gently. That okay? She asks, blinking sweetly. You're a f***ing treasure, Marcy. Listen here, okay? This is another just completely outlandish. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen this way, that you could be a virgin, completely inexperienced, and just knock a home run grand slam out of the park every single thing you try. Some people are just naturally good at some things, okay? But as a person who once didn't know how to do things and then one day did, you don't just know all those tricks right off the bat. I am 37 now, so of course, like, I'm like, oh, well, yeah, you do that, well, but they like it when you do this. I got that through years of experience. You don't just know it. You don't roll out of bed and think, I wonder if I cup, and I keep going and I swirl. You don't know that. You've never, in theory, you've never really seen one of these in action, and there's no user manual. I'm gonna stop yelling. Okay. So, after that whole thing, he still doesn't tell her who he is, who his dad is, none of it. So then Lily starts to cry, and she's like, oh, she's probably hungry. Oh my God, we're out of formula. And he finds one last can in the pantry and hands it to her, and he's like, I should go to town anyway, because the rain started to stop. It started to stop. That's the stupidest thing I've ever said. He's going to get some more formula, some diapers. Also, let me just say that she really lucked out with this baby, because my first child, when he was on formula, he was breastfed for a while. My milk came in, and then we switched to formula because I wasn't making enough. He wasn't growing. It became like a concern to his pediatrician at the time. It was really very devastating for me. I don't want to get into it. But anyway, when we switched him over to formula, it took us weeks of trial and error to find the kind of formula that didn't constipate or upset him or make him throw up. And just the sheer luck that the formula you swiped was the right one. Good job. I don't know. Anyway, they make a little list for him to go into town, and they, whatever. And she's like, didn't you need to tell me something? And he's like, when I come back. And she's like, it's not too awful, is it? And he kisses her and says, we can get through anything. You've known each other 2 weeks tops. It is pretty awful, actually. And, will you get together? I guess time will tell. You both seem kind of dumb, so probably. The sky may be clear, but as I walk away, Marcy's eyes cloud over. This, right here, what we just had the last few weeks, might be as good as it ever gets. Yeah, because you might lose her because you withheld vital information from her and then jumped into bed with her not once, but at least twice on page that we saw, and didn't tell her. You didn't tell her. So Chapter 8 is Marcy, and she's holding Lily, calling her little sparrow because James calls her that, and tells her, look, a rainbow. She's a week old. She can't see it. So, but anyway, it's nice that she has you, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm being bitter and petty today. She's like, it's hopeful. It's a sign of hope. That's what I feel when I'm choosing to hold on to, even if James's last words were ominous. And I can't help the goofy grin that stretches across my face when I think about James, of the life we could have, all the promises he's made, and I let my guard down completely and just let hope wrap around me. And honestly, you deserve that. Not a week or two out from the chaos that you escaped from. Maybe you need to give some time to heal, maybe grow up a little bit, maybe get some alone time, learn Lily and give her all of your undivided attention while you sort out all the other aspects of your life. But whatever, who cares? No, who cares? Anyway, so she's talking to Lily still, and she's holding her, and she's like, we're gonna be okay. Hope, 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 hope. Then she tells us, like, she should have known better, that hope is just an illusion, because then when she's picking up all of their clothes to do a load of laundry, I guess, the picture falls out of James's breeches, and she, sees a 12-year-old James stands with two people who are obviously his parents, and it hits me why he seemed familiar at first. His eyes, the same sapphire blue as his father's. James is Clay Sagal's son. Sagal. Anyway, so she's spiraling at this revelation, right? This is probably what he wanted to tell me. Why didn't he tell me sooner? Blah, blah, blah. We know why. You wouldn't have railed him if he had, maybe. There was a risk that you couldn't have, and he needed to empty those suckers out somewhere. So her first instinct is to take Lily and run. Like, she knows that he's genuine. She spent time with him. He's living out here by himself. He's not with them. Or is he? There's no way to know. So she does. She gets Lily and she runs, and she stumbles onto the highway, and she flags down a truck, and out pop 3 men from the Wild Ride Motorcycle Club. Is that right? Wild Hog? I don't know why I keep wanting to say Wild Hog Motorcycle Club, but it's Wild Ride Motorcycle Club. Time to come home, darling, Clay says, walking towards me, a smirk stretching across his lips, those blue eyes cold and callous as the hands wrapped around my throat. You've been a very bad girl. He leans closer, his foul breath on my cheek. And you know what we do to bad girls, don't you, sweetheart? Blech. kill them. Chapter 9 is James. He is back at the cabin. Marcy and Lily nowhere to be found, so he's freaking out. At first, I thought someone had found her, but there's no sign of a struggle, and her bag was gone, including the remaining formula. She left on her own. So then he's on like a mad rush to find her and whatever, and he pulls onto the street just as that truck is forcing, the people in the truck are forcing her into the truck, and they speed off into the day or night. I don't know what time it is. Thankfully, he knows where they're going, the clubhouse, because he is one of us, them, and, whatever. All these years I've avoided confrontation with my father, but I know how this has to end. I make a call, the one I should have made years ago. What? Detective Pearson, this is James Saggle. I'm ready to talk, but I need your help. I give the man the full details of the club, how many men will most likely be inside, including the civilians. But even with the police involved, I know Marcy is in danger, and it scares the shit out of me. Detective Pearson's words ring out in my ear. Wait for us to arrive. Don't do anything stupid before we get there. I stay back, following the truck from a distance and turning my headlights off as I approach the clubhouse. My plan is to wait for the police to arrive, but when I see it's my father who gets out of the truck and pulls Marcy roughly out with him, the primal part of my brain overtakes all rational thought. I need to save my girls. So you're telling me that you could have turned these people in all along this whole time? You had a detective at the police department's number on speed dial, or at the very least saved into your phone. And the only reason that you decided that it was time to man up and do something about the horrific things that your dad and all of his followers are doing is because you got a piece of ass once and a blowy once. So chapter 10 is Marcy. She is inside and Clay instructs somebody to come and take the baby from her so he can have a little alone time with her. And, she's feisty and whatever. He moves towards me, each step calculated and slow, meant to scare me. But it's the flash of excitement in his eyes at what he's about to do to me that truly terrifies me. And I realize how wrong I was thinking James and him look anything alike. They share the same sapphire blue eyes, but that's where the similarities stop. James may be a giant of a man, but there's no brutality in him. Not like his father. So he says something else about, you think you can run from me? And I was going to make a few pennies on your virgin, but now I'm going to take for myself. She slaps him. So he, attacks her and is, he's, on top of her until he isn't because, whoop, James to the rescue. Dun, 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 dun. James gets a few blows in before Clay is able to shake him off. James! I cry out when I see Clay reach for his gun, but it's too late. The weapon is already drawn and pointed straight at James's chest. You little bastard. Clay spits out. James glances over at me, clearly more concerned for my own safety than his own, and I feel like a fool for ever thinking that he'd betray me. I mean, honestly, I would have thought the same thing. He kept it from you. Anyway, James tells him that it's over. They're surrounded. The police are there. And he's like, what'd you do? He's like, what I should have done a long time ago. Yeah, you should have. This is so embarrassing. You turned me in for a piece of ass? Is that what you're telling me, son? That's literally what I said. I turned you in to protect the people who can't protect themselves from you. Anyway, they scuffle, a fist fight breaks out, fisticuffs or whatever. The gun goes flying and then a gun goes off and it was pointed right at her, but James dives in front of her and takes the shot himself. Pew. And then there's also 3 more shots and the police have barged in and shot Clay 3 times. The officers rush in. James is gurgling blood. It's not looking great. And she's frantic and James. And someone pulls her off of him. You have to come with me, ma'am. An officer says calmly, my whole world isn't crashing down around me because that's what James is. My world. I didn't know what living was until I met him. 2 weeks. I had no idea what love meant. 2 weeks. But now, watching my man bleed out on the dirty floor of the hell I escaped from, I know what it means now. Say now twice. But now, watching my man bleed out on the dirty floor of the hell I escaped from, I know what it means now. Just say it once. Sacrifice. And James may have just paid the ultimate sacrifice for me. As the police officer leads me away, I know I need to make sure that his sacrifice is for something. I don't know what that means. But anyway, so she skips through time a little bit. She's been questioned by the police. She's at the hospital. And whoever was taking care of the baby during all of this talks to her a little bit and is like, you really love him, don't you? And she's like, I do. Did you know James? And they're like, I was friends with his mom. He's a lot more like his mom than he is like his dad. And you both deserve to be happy. Then the doctor comes and gets her and takes her back. She's like, you need to come with me. Chapter 11? Chapter 11 is James. When I wake up, my first thought is on my girls. My girls. The ones I betrayed, the ones I hurt.
but I'm alive, and I will do what it takes to set things straight. I move, wanting to get out of this hospital bed. I rip the IV from my arm.
Why do they do that?
Don't do that! Ugh. My only thought on finding Marcy and Lily. I will spend every day of my life fixing what I've wronged.
All you had to do was tell her in the first place. My dude. Hold up there. You aren't going anywhere, partner.
I have to. I need my Marcy.
You just came out of surgery. You nearly died. You are staying in the hospital bed, even if it means restraining you. So then, he settles down a little bit. He sits back. Pain in his belly where he was shot is hurting, but his chest hurts more because, God, I may have lost her. Anyway, he hasn't, because the doctor brings Marcy in and he's like,
Marcy. And she's like, don't. You're going to open your stitches. I don't care. I needed to know you're all right.
No, James, I'm not all right.
Snap. Fuck, you have no idea how sorry I am. I wanted to tell you. I was going to tell you.
I know. I'm not all right, James, because for a moment I thought you died, and it was the worst thing I've ever felt. So they talk, and he's like, I don't want to hurt you. And she's like, the only thing hurting me is you not being close to me, blah, blah, blah. And they hug and whatever. And she's like, you saved me again.
I'd save you 1,000,000 times over. Take 1,000 bullets. Fight through any rainstorm to make sure you're safe. You're my heart, Marcy. You're what it beats for.
You're mine too.
I love you. Both of you. And I know that's fast to say, that you probably need time to figure out what you want.
I know what I want.
Yeah?
I want the heart of this mountain man.
You have it.
And you have mine. I love you, James. And then he, no shit, asks if she will marry him. What the fuck? And he starts talking. He's like, if you marry me, we can move to a city with a yard. She's like, no. And he's like, what? And she's like, I want to live on the mountain. We might have to add a couple more rooms. And he's like, so that's a yes? Yes. I want to marry you, James. You have my heart. Always and forever. Epilogue 1, because there's more than one. James, 1 year later. Who wants to bet that she's pregnant already? Who? Show of hands. Okay, most of us.
What do you think? I ask, holding my beautiful wife in my arms and looking at the renovations that are finally done. And just in time, because it won't be long before our new additions will be here. Plural? Oh, God, she's having twins. I knew it, though. We knew it. High five. Lily's like one, and she's playing, and it's her nap time, and she's like, no, pay, please. And it was really hard to hear that on an audiobook, let me tell you. It was probably hard for you to hear me say that just now, so I want to formally apologize to you. With the twins on the way, soon this mountain is going to get a whole lot busier and noisier. I shut the door and find Marcy in our new master bedroom. She's stretched out on the king-sized bed, and she groans in delight when she sees me. Oh my God, this bed is so comfortable. I don't think I've ever felt anything better. Nothing.
You know what I meant. Anyway, they do it, because of course they do. And he talks about, she rolls on top of me, straddling me, easing down on my hands running over her swollen belly. Let me tell you something. If the babies are just about to get here, because there is a section of pregnancy where all you want to do is that. But at the end, just in my own experience, that was not the time. That was the time that everybody needed to stay far away from me. Actually, my whole pregnancy was kind of like that. I was mean as a snake. I was uncomfortable. I was stressed. I was scared. It was a whole nightmare. And so, and just with the logistics, I've only been pregnant with one kid at a time. I've never had two in there. But what do you mean she rolls on top of you? That's difficult to do at like 38 to 40 weeks into a pregnancy, a twins pregnancy. And she's on top? Bold.
She smiles, her tits bouncing as she reaches the edge of her pleasure, and I hold on to her, loving the way it feels when she reaches euphoria. When we come together, our bodies ignite as one. I know I'm the luckiest guy in the world. I always thought I'd have to live my life alone in these mountains, never thought I'd get a second chance, but with Marcy every day, my heart beats more wild, more alive.
Boo. Epilogue 2, Marcy, 5 years later. Lily's 6 and swimming in the river, yeah, with her dad and whatever. And Banjo is there. Is it not weird that he's fathering his half sibling and also railing the mother of her half siblings. Is that not strange? Gross, isn't it? Like a little gross. I understand that their options are a little bit limited, and that's really kind of their own fault because they decided they were in love with each other after 2 weeks, and he moved into the mountains and didn't want to have like a social life or try to connect with anybody on any sort of level at all. So it's a bed of their own making. King sized, by the way, and full of sex. So the twins are obviously born in this epilogue by now. They're about 5 or 4 or whatever, and their names are Benson and Bradley. And then there's another baby who is 6 months old named Abby. So they just be cranking them out. Like it just irks me so bad. Like you move into the middle of nowhere and you just have all these kids. Like she wanted to be a mountain man trad wife, and we can't fault her for it. Women's rights and all that. You know, you get to do what you want, I guess. So happy for you. But like, I just hate it. I just hate it. Anyway, it's Lily's birthday, so she's baked her a cake, and they're all out there, and baby Abby is cooing in her little whatever she's in, and the twins are twinning it up. I don't know. She talks about finding out that she was pregnant with the 6-month-old and how she ran over to tell him, and he knew before she even said it. And then they had to like add on more space to the house and everything. And whoever helped, like the crew leader named Jax with an X, said that there's a place called Miracle Mountain that if they ever want to move over there, they can. And she was like, it's a sweet offer, but I would never leave this mountain. The Fox Hollow Mountains, being here is being home. James is the heart of this mountain, and it's where I want to raise our family. So like they get done swimming and they come over to eat the cake, and Lily's like, I'm going to grow up and get married on the mountain one day, and I'm going to be big, and I want to be a mama and have a bunch of babies and live happily ever after. When I was 6, I wanted to be nothing. I didn't want to be anything. I still want to be nothing if we could fast track that somehow. Anyway, she sits down, she makes a wish, and whatever, she's happy. She blows them out, and when she opens her eyes, she gasps, looking up in the sky. A rainbow appears, painting the sky with pastels, and I feel our hearts collectively swoon. The sun always shines after the storm. So the end. Yeah, so that was fun. Wasn't it? Did I tell you we'd have fun? I told you we would, and I hope that I was not pulling your leg. I had fun. And if you thought this was fun, let me know if I need to read and review the rest of them, because they are very short, and I could probably make at least 2 more videos, maybe clump some of them together or whatever. I don't know. I gave it 1 star, probably closer to 2, somewhere in there. I thought the writing was kind of, and the story itself was just so fast. I know it's a novella, but my God, like getting married, could have had them do that in 1 epilogue, like a few years later after they decide that this is actually something that they want. It was 2 weeks and a lot of trauma happened. I don't feel like that yields the best decision making, but I can only speak for myself. And when I was on the heels or in the wake of traumatic things, I didn't make the best decisions. Isn't that weird? That's so weird. But hey, this isn't me. This is a romance novel. We're supposed to swoon over the virgin, bearded, burly baby daddy of our dreams. But I'm not, and I won't, and I shan't. So I don't know what you want from me. But yes, this was that, and now I'm done. And I want you to let me know how you felt about it. If you've read this book, if you read the other book, like the full-length book that predated this, if you want me to read more into the series and finish it. Remember, maybe don't remember, but remember, if I get to 30,000, if and when I get to 30,000 subscribers, I will be reading and reviewing Does It Hurt by H.D. Carlton. And one of my friends on here, my YouTube pals, Read, Rant, Review, has already reviewed it, and I can't watch it until I do my own review because I don't want to have any overlap. So yeah, if you get me to that mark, I will do it. And then also, if you like this video, if you want early access to videos like this, plus uncensored and ad-free, you should really check out my Bindery page. That is where I do a lot of bonus content, blogs, vlogs, behind the scenes things. I just recently moved. I'm filming a lot of moving in, settling down, decorating, styling stuff, behind the scenes content for a vlog. I post wrap ups at the end of the month to tell you the different forms of media that I've been enjoying, like the video games I've been playing, the music I've been listening to, things like that. We do giveaways. We have a book club. There's all kinds of fun stuff happening over there, and supports me, shows me that you're interested in what I'm doing, shows me that you want to keep in touch and keep up to date with everything that's going on over here. And if you can afford to sign up for one of the free tiers, also financially supports me. I am currently trying to raise funds to get a little free library in my brand new front yard because those bitches are expensive on the website. So you can find information about that over on my bindery. You can find pretty much everything over on my bindery. It's a really good time. So please check that out. All of the links are below. Thanks again to Skillshare for sponsoring this video, and I will see you in the next video. I love you. You don't have to say it back. Bye.